Engineer, BTech from IIT BHU, and my master's is from Salford University, UK. My doctoral is from Cranfield University, UK. My postdoc is from Bath University, UK, and I was a visiting professor at Hartshill Medical Institute in UK, Stoke-on-Trent. You may be wondering how come a mechanical engineer is talking of professor of biomedical engineering. During my tenure at BHU, I was working very closely with IMS BHU, Institute of Medical Sciences, Banaras Hindu University, and we developed many biomedical products so innovative that probably DST, Ministry of Science and Technology or whatever, they thought this person is fit to be a science counselor at USA, and that was a blessing in disguise, though I was working completely due to my academic interest. As far as my job profile is concerned, I served 20 years IIT BHU, 15 years BITS Pilani, 3 years as Vice Chancellor at JP University in Himachal Pradesh, JUIT, JP University of Information Technology, and since 2013, that is more than 5 years now, at MIT University. So it's a very long inning, and I'm very proud of that, because best part of my job is to meet young students. Every year they change, younger people come, so we remain young throughout our life. That is the best part of it. Okay, now coming back to USA diplomacy thing, I feel that science counselors are given enough training before they leave for their respective posting in Delhi. They know all the ministries, their culture, their requirement, and therefore they can perform on their own also very well in the foreign locale. Only thing what is happening, I was listening to other science counselors also, there is a gap between one science counselor leaving and another science counselor joining, which is not a very conducive thing, because the old science counselor is not able to pass on all the information to the new science counselor, which are very, very valuable, you can say, because whatever contacts the earlier science counselor has developed in that country should be known to the new science counselor who is taking over, for making his life easy. Otherwise, he will reinvent the wheel, which is not a good idea. Believe it or not, our you can say NRIs or people of Indian origin or whatever, local people are such a big resource, we don't realize their importance. Whatever information we wanted from various agencies, departments or whatever, our friends of NRIs were very willing to come forward and provide it, which was a very big help. Otherwise, it will not be easy to get those informations from local Americans and all. They are also American, our NRIs, but they are having some soft corner for India because they are from Indian origin, and they come very much forward to provide that. I tell you some instances. I was looking after all the scientific disciplines in USA, but I was seeing that nuclear is totally missed. Nuclear science is also a science. So I was very worried why we are ignoring nuclear science, which is such an important issue for India. And whenever I talked to people there, they said, first we would like to see your nuclear establishments. You people have a huge stockpile of nuclear arms. We are having a lot of suspicion. Till you show that, we are not even talking, forget about visiting. So I was in a catch-22 situation, you can say. And I didn't know how to proceed, because whenever I talked to Delhi, they said first they have to show us and then we will show. So neither they will show nor we will show. So I didn't know what to do, and I was really at pains from within that how to start this dialogue. So while searching the literature and all, I found there is Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, and a lady was chairman of that Nuclear Regulatory Commission. On phone, I developed friendship with that lady who was chairman, and I convinced her that we should initiate some dialogue in nuclear area. She said, okay, Dr. Prakash. At that time, I was professor of biomedical engineering at IIT BHU. She said, as a professor, you can visit our nuclear plants, not as a diplomat. I said, doesn't matter, it's a question of me visiting rather than whether a professor is visiting or a diplomat is visiting. She agreed. And I said, I want to see your Fermi lab where there was a fire, and at the same time India there was a fire in atomic establishment in Darora. We wanted to learn a lot from them, because Indian side was pumping me with the information, what information they want. As soon as she said you can visit, I called Delhi And overnight, 2 nuclear scientists from Tarapur were flown to go with me and to see the establishment. And that was the, you can say, breaking the ice between India and USA. And we visited their Fermi lab, and when we reached there, practically every other person was NRI. They showed us very willingly, and whatever documents we wanted were provided in the evening privately. So we should use our resources definitely of the local NRIs. And the visit went very well, and after that they agreed 11-member team from India, from Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, in which even Kakotkar was there. At that time he was not a high-shy man, he was part of the team. Anil Kakotkar, he also visited, and many important people visited. And the ice was thawed, and then we allowed Americans also to visit our nuclear establishments, and we became friends on nuclear issue. Finally, I feel, culminating into George Bush and Manmohan Singh signing the agreement. So you feel achieved if you initiate on your own these things, which gets into a proper light. Of course, MEA did later on things. I did my part as science counselor, which was entering into area where a diplomat would not have been able to enter. I told you, she said, as a professor you can visit, not as a diplomat. So sometime I feel science counselors are very much required in every country, because they have different mechanism and they understand the science, and therefore when they visit there, they are not just looking at the equipments and facilities, they know about it, so they discuss technical things also, and therefore it is very, very important. This was one issue, and in fact I was awarded by Fermi Lab Rear View Mirror Award. It was a funny name, so I said, what is this? They said, we are very happy that you visited, otherwise India and USA will never be on talking terms, and which is a very sad thing, because we two are very big democracies and we should be friendly at any cost. And that certificate is still lying in my room hanging, and everybody coming there asks, what is this? And I have a story to tell, so it becomes a talking point also. Other thing I tell you, there are several deals in which something, fishy is also there between two countries, and local NRIs tell you about what's wrong with the deal. Officially, they will never tell you, but they are friends because they are visiting your RG parties, and you are being invited to their parties. So after a couple of drinks, they become very friendly and they start telling everything. So similarly, this BT cotton seeds, biotechnological cotton seeds by Monsanto, deal was not very fair. And these NRIs told me, look, it has never been tested in USA. Why India is buying it? Out of concern, they said, because they love their country. And then I had to bring out that issue to proper ministry, and the deal was cancelled. Later on, again it came when we came back. I don't know what happened, but at that time it was cancelled. And concern was that you are allowing us BT cotton seed, which will spoil your own indigenous cotton seeds, and when they are gone, you are neither having this nor that. That was a very big issue, which I took very seriously and sorted it out. Similarly, every now and then, Department of State, USA government, what we have Ministry of External Affairs, they have Department of State, as you know. I used to be summoned to Department of State. Look, Dr. Prakash, your country is not agreeing to product patenting. It's a very serious issue, take it seriously. And when I talk to Delhi, I am told Prime Minister Narasimha Rao government is having hair-thick majority, and if this issue is brought to the parliament, the government will fall. So don't talk about it. So that type of diplomacy we have to deal with, and I had to pacify them, look, this is not the appropriate time. We will go for product patenting, but right now is not the appropriate time because of the governmental situation. And finally, since they are also, nice people, and they have been meeting you every now and then in parties, functions and all, they all agree to you, and this way you have to keep the things going. Otherwise, if you become very rigid, there may be problem. So all these issues come one by one, and you have to deal with them. Otherwise, in routine, whatever duties are given to the science counselor, he has to look after. A large number of DBT fellows, research associates, Department of Biotechnology fellows used to be there. Their scholarship was processed by my office, and we had to visit many biotechnological institution. Being a biomedical engineer, I was very interested in NIH, National Institutes of Health, and Fogarty International Center. They became so friendly, difficult to believe. And one of the person there, Phil Shambra, he said, India is the best country, I want to be there all the time. He was science counselor also in Delhi. So he was so friendly, very difficult to believe. And Greg, who was sort of after Phil Shambra, became science counselor in India. So they were always for this, India being the best country in the world. And Greg came to my home also in Pilani, BITS Pilani, when I was being there. And my house was having all the US things because I had returned from US and we diplomats are allowed to carry all the containers and all. So he said, every Indian lives in such a good house. I said, no, it's not like that. It is just chance that, we were allowed and I was having these things in USA, so I didn't have to buy. They have been simply transported. So what I want to say that if you develop friendship either with the local Americans or Indian diaspora, it is going to help the country one way or the other. You don't have to always ask them for favors, but whenever you need favor, they come forward and provide you all the things. Like, I hope I can talk about it freely here. Fast breeder reactor, we wanted design and all, because India wanted to go for that. Full design, drawing, everything was provided to us in the evening dinner by our local friends there. These things will not be possible through diplomatic channels. And Kakotkar was so happy. He said, Dr. Prakash, you are doing a wonderful job because you are helping the country, not only me. Similarly, I tell you, defense people, they want certain equipments or instruments and all. They will never be provided by USA because we are not signatory to many of the treaties. But if I tell an educational institution, buy it and provide to DRDO or DRDL or DMRL, they will gladly do that. So these types of contacts are possible because we are in education, we are science and technologists, we are engineers. So our network is a different type. And we utilize that to help the country. And other thing I can talk about is there was Prime Minister's visit. Narsim Rao was the Prime Minister then to USA, and it was a big, you can say, event. We were on toes, what will be asked and what we have to reply. Simple things, what is the difference between a missile and a rocket? Prime Minister Rao wanted to know. And Manmohan Singh was then his finance minister. And this fellow, I'm forgetting another Sardarji was there. Montek Singh Ahluwalia. So Manmohan Singh and Montek Singh Ahluwalia met me in the lift and they said, Prime Minister wants to know the difference between rocket and missile. You go and tell you are the science counselor. So, little things also you are involved, and sometimes you feel that your scientific knowledge which you gained as a student, as a teacher, as a scientist never goes waste. What thing will be asked where? You should be knowing everything. And that was a very plus point. And I enjoyed my posting through and through, not only power-wise and all, work satisfaction-wise. And for family also it was very good because my wife got the permission from US government and Indian government to work in USA. She was teaching at George Washington University, honor, teaching Americans for 3 years. That was great. My children got very good education in the best school in Bethesda area. So I feel God-gifted things are there. These are the perks which should be there for science counselor because they are helping the country in a very big way. Otherwise, it will not be possible because generally science counselors are from, not too grand a background. They are very good in studies and all, but the economic background may not be that good. Okay? And then there was superconducting super collider project, a mega project. R. Chidambaram was managing that. So he visited me in my office and I asked, sir, so many millions of dollars is government of India is going to provide for this project. He said, why not? If they provide 50%, we will provide 50%. So I visited Texas, Dallas and saw the project, progress and all monitored and told Chidambaram what is to be done. So these types of things were not easy otherwise. And all the big people like ICMR director kept on visiting, CSIR director kept on visiting. I think they are called Director General, not Directors. Director General, so DG CSIR, DG ISMR, they were all visiting and asking so many information, which I was very, good at finding because my network was very efficient. So whatever type of information was there, I will simply call, and next morning or next evening, the information will be there. During my time, vaccine action project called VAP was there between India and USA, very successful project. Another project was CDRI, Contraceptive Development and Research in Immunology, that was very successful. Big people used to come to USA, and my job was to make them happy, and they should happily return without any complaint. Otherwise, there will be chaos. Fortunately, we were from university, so it was never a threat that you will lose your job, because if something goes wrong, you will go back to your parental position in BHU. BHU will not ask any question. Before going to USA, I met J.S. Rao. He was IIT Delhi professor, and he was earlier science counselor. I'm not seeing him. He was also ex-science counselor. And I met him in IIT Delhi. Should I go or should I not? He said, if you want to go there to amass money and all, don't go, because money will not be there. You will come back as you are going. But if you want to learn, develop contact and networking, definitely go. This is the best opportunity one can get. And he was so right. When I came back, initial few months money was there. After that, I became a simple Indian and started living my own life. Very good. And I think the most important role I have